So Battlefield 2042 has been out in early access for a couple of days, and with that, I've got a lot of stuff to talk about, as well as giving you guys my first impressions and general feedback, some pros and cons, and just stuff that I think needs to be improved, as well as added to the game for the launch of Battlefield 2042 on the 19th. Before I go into any of my pros and cons, I just want to tell you guys this: I am having an absolute blast on Battlefield 2042, and despite all of the glitches and the features that are removed from the game and just overall kind of scuffed build that we have for day zero, I want to say that I really do enjoy the game and I want the game to improve. So all of the stuff that I have listed on the cons section is all constructive feedback that I want them to improve on the game, because I do genuinely love Battlefield 2042 and I want to see it successful. It's also worth mentioning that most of my first impressions for Battlefield 2042 are coming from the all-out warfare game mode. I don't really play much Hazard Zone because my squad isn't really available at this time. They're going to wait until the 19th to pick it up, and the fact that Battlefield Portal is not really granting XP or anything that I would like in that mode, so I really haven't been playing it at all. But we'll touch a little bit more on that topic later on in the video. Now, to start things off, I want to start with the pros, because I do think Battlefield 2042 in its current state is a really solid game. So first and foremost, we have the gunplay. It is super fun. Some of the close quarter engagements and the sniper gameplay is probably some of the best that I've played since Battlefield 4. The graphics for Battlefield 2042 look incredible, and it's performing pretty well on my rig. All-out warfare maps play pretty good. I do have a little bit of cons on that I'll go into in the future, but for the most part, I enjoy all-out warfare maps. They're kind of different and unique, not something that I would expect in a Battlefield game, which is kind of why I'm enjoying it. I find myself really enjoying the fact that I can just run around the huge, massive maps in Battlefield 2042's all-out warfare mode and still discover new locations every single map that I play. Granted, there is some cons that I will talk about in terms of the all-out warfare maps, but for the most part, they play pretty solid and I'm having a good time with them. The maps are vibrant, they're beautiful. It doesn't feel like I'm playing with an Instagram filter. The colors are super vibrant on Battlefield 2042, and overall, the game aesthetically looks amazing. Close quarters engagements and gunplay is exhilarating, and it's a strong suit of the game. I love the fact that you have to finesse around different enemies, as well as avoiding tanks and helicopters, and just trying to get as many kills as possible on a conquest objective. If you guys have not used the PP-29 Bison, it is insane for close quarters, and that's one of the reasons why I like the close quarters gunplay so much. Also, if you're interested in doing some really cheeky close quarters gunplay, I recommend using Sundance and the wingsuit, because you can pretty much wingsuit on anything that's high enough where the animation plays. Funny enough, I'm actually liking the specialist over classes. Having the freedom to choose what my loadout is in my opinion a great addition to Battlefield 2042. I did have some hesitations at first with specialists because you couldn't really distinguish enemy players versus friendlies, but they actually made that better, and they added a green and a red light that helps indicate whether a player is a friendly or an enemy. In-game events like tornadoes and storms really makes for fun and unique gameplay changes. I know a lot of people talk about performance being pretty bad on Battlefield 2042, but look at the freaking in-game events like a tornado. It is absolutely wild that they're able to do that seamlessly on one massive multiplayer map. Now, I've got a few more pros that I want to get to that I'm going to talk about at the end of the video, but we have to talk about some of the cons. Error persistence data. That has been the biggest plague of this game, and overall the bugs and glitches. You could get stuck in a down state forever. Hovercraft is broken with the flying, even though I kind of like that aspect. I like the Battlefield is kind of broken at times because the bugs make the game pretty fun. I just hope that DICE does fix that eventually. Overall, the user interface kind of sucks. UI on/off is dumb and impossible to understand. No inspect weapon. We're going to be paying for skins in Battlefield 2042. Why can't we see them in game in all of their glory? Weapon mastery should be tied to kills and assists. One of the things that made Modern Warfare 19 so fun with the weapon unlocking system is the fact that Gunsmith made it feel like you were actually progressing, not just going around and getting a bunch of kills. It had a lot to do with just the overall XP utilizing the weapon. The overall weapon progression being tied to just kills is kind of lazy design. I would love to have different things like getting so many headshots to be able to unlock one section. We get a small tease of different weapon progression with the underbarrels and the grenade launchers. Essentially, you have to have so many grenade launcher kills in order to unlock a better version of it. Give us more things to do than just get a bunch of kills. The Battlefield 2042 scoreboard needs added with all 128 players listed. I really don't know what DICE was thinking about whenever they decided not to put a scoreboard in the game. They have all of the players and squads listed, so why don't they just show KD ratio as well as a score? It seems kind of weird that they would just remove that completely. All-out warfare needs more modes than just Conquest and Breakthrough. As much fun as I'm having with Conquest and Breakthrough, I need more variety and give us other objective-based modes. Long-range gunplay almost feels pointless with how difficult it is to kill players from a distance. Bullet deviation, bad hit registration, and random spread is not not something that I would want in a Battlefield game, so hopefully DICE gets that fixed for launch. Jumping into the portal aspect of the game, XP farm lobbies in Battlefield Portal have plagued the server list, and they have since disabled XP progression from Portal, which is super unfortunate as I was looking forward to ranking up in that mode. So the game mode variety that I was hoping for is now non-existent because it's kind of pointless to play Battlefield Portal until they do fix that XP progression. I've currently got some issues where high ping is on various servers throughout my gaming session. There's time when my ping shoots up all the way to 390 on some servers in Battlefield Portal, so I'm really hoping DICE fixes that on the 19th. Now we have to talk about medics in Battlefield 2042. They don't stand out at all, and because of that, I pretty much never wait for a medic. If I die, I wait for a few seconds, I try to see if a teammate's gonna revive me, to which they don't, so I just spam the space bar so that I can continue on my progression throughout the game. Currently, there is a random field of view glitch that goes back to default FOV until you set it again. This has been such an annoying glitch that I have every time I load up the game, it seems like. Hopefully they get that fixed for launch. It is such a small issue that I'm sure it will be fixed in the day one patch. Vehicles are too strong or the rocket launcher isn't powerful enough. Right now it feels like the heli's got a buff from earlier builds of the game, like the alpha and the beta. I don't know if that's the case, maybe it's just better pilots in the current build of the game, but either way, they need a little bit of a buff in terms of the rocket launcher, because at this point the Apache and the Little Bird are pretty much destroying conquest lobbies with how powerful and just generally good the pilots are. That's pretty much all I had for the pros and cons for Battlefield 2042. I want to restate that this is on the day 0 build of Battlefield 2042, and it might not be representative of the full game. Despite all of the current letdowns and flaws of Battlefield 2042, I am having an absolute blast playing it, and I cannot wait to jump on the game after making this video. I am really looking forward to the day 1 patch of the game, and I'm sure a lot of the stuff that I've talked about on the cons list are already sorted out by DICE in the day 1 patch, but I have no way of knowing that. Either way, guys, let me know what your thoughts are on Battlefield 2042. Let me know what your experience has been with the game so far. If you have purchased it, if you're planning on waiting until the 19th, then that's probably a good idea because the current state of the build is pretty shaky. Well, guys, that is going to wrap it up with this video. If you enjoyed it, do me a favor, leave a like, subscribe to my channel with your notifications on, and don't forget to check back tomorrow for another Battlefield 2042 video.